and available for replay. What I'd like to also do is take advantage of our Lisa Nichols model. And we do our ESM like, okay, hello, Nicole, where are you calling in from today?
I'm sorry. I'm trying to get Michelle on. I'm sorry.
Okay, Leah.
Ohio.
Okay.
I'm calling in from Ohio.
Okay.
It doesn't know what it wants to do.
Okay, we got Nicole from Ohio. Where are you calling in from, Leah?
I'm calling in from Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada.
Okay, we've got Canada in the house. And Thimby, where are you calling in from today? Thimby, are you able to hear me?
She might be muted.
Okay, let me see if I can find, yes, she is. Thimby, you are muted, but I'm going to unmute you. And then, Thimby, now, thank you so much, Leah. Thimby, where are you calling in from today? Is she muted again? All right. Well, we're going to go with 1, 2, 3, 4. There is another person online. Let's see who is that fifth person. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I make 5. Oh, no, there's someone else, I think. Anyway, right now I only see 3. I'm going to go ahead with my introduction. Most of you know me anyway, but just to keep pace with what we've got planned for today, we're going to utilize the full 1 hour. And it's going to be a light night, but your week will be full of things that you are going to do to forward this movement toward birthing that book of yours. My name is Dr. Priscilla. I am a native English speaker, which is always what I always tell my students. I'm a global conversational English coach. And as a result of what I do, students are able to secure prestigious jobs, get into the universities mostly of their choice, and those would be English-speaking universities. Once they complete their term at the university, they may continue studying with me to perfect their conversational English and then go on to get better paying jobs and perhaps move to the US or English-speaking country. So I'm so excited about what I have been able to do, and having Lisa Nicole as a dynamic coach, I have made strides that for the past 16 years that I never would have been able to make had it not been my introduction to her. I came across Lisa Nichols over a year and a half ago. And have any of you ever met someone who immediately made an impact in your life?
Mm-hmm.
That is exactly what Lisa Nicole did for me. What you may not know, my mother is an Alzheimer's patient. She has had Alzheimer's for maybe 10 years. And as recent as 1 year ago, 1.5 years ago, my sister by 1 year took care of my mother full-time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Unfortunately, my sister passed away. She and my mother were in the hospital at the same time. My sister Pat did not come home. She was diagnosed as having lung cancer, and it had metastasized throughout her body, and there was no recovery for her. So Pat never came home, and neither did my mother. My mother left the hospital and came to live with me in Charlotte, North Carolina. So everything was really new to her, new to me, and that is how I think about writing the book that I did. So I'm really happy to share everything that I've learned about writing this type of book with you so that you too can birth the book of your choice. Hi, Paul. It's good to have you with us today. Tara, welcome. Tanisha.
Hello.
Hi, Night Rider. There's my queen. It's good to see everybody. So that was my introduction. Those of you who did not get my introduction, I wanted to go ahead and start on time. You can listen to the beginning of what you've missed, which was very small. You can listen to that, and we're going to start. What I want to implement with you is some of the things that I've learned from Lisa Nicole, which is my coach, as well as your coach, maybe or maybe not, but she is definitely worth following, in my opinion. because the nuggets that she drops every single day are just that, nuggets that are bigger than any diamond that you could possibly ever want. So let's start with Paul. Well, Paul, could you take a moment and introduce yourself to us, and we will listen.
Could you guys see me?
No, I just see your name.
Yeah, I was trying to set that up, and I've been trying to. Okay.
There you
See
are.
me now?
Yes,
Yes.
perfect.
All right. So hi everyone. I am Paul Denisa. That's my last name. I'm 20 years old, and what else? I live in Canada originally. I'm from Zimbabwe, and I just moved here a couple of years ago. I fly for a living, and I'm just writing this book, just telling my story, and yeah.
Awesome. Welcome, welcome. Everyone, take a moment and welcome Paul into the group.
Hey, Paul.
Hello.
Good to have you here.
And
Nice to meet you guys too.
if you all make notes, these notes will be available to you, because I'm not so much one who is going to do any note taking. I thought about doing a PowerPoint, and I may do PowerPoints later on, and I can do great PowerPoints, but I'm pretty much a talker. So I've sent you the script, and we're going to go through that. Tara, why don't you take a moment and tell us about yourself? And it's good to see you, Tara.
Yay. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. So a little bit about me. I'm here in Connecticut, down by the casinos, in case anyone wants to come this way, drop some change.
Hello. We heard that.
I actually have been following Lisa Nichols as well since about 2017, I would say, and I would just endorse Dr. Priscilla's sentiments about, you know, who she is and who she and the information that she really shared. And I could tell you my growth personally since following her has got me right here to this place right now. I wouldn't have met Dr. Priscilla if I hadn't gone to the conference. I wouldn't have been connected to, that's right. I wouldn't have been connected to actually quite a few tribes now, you know, as a result of going to the conference. So, you know, personally, that's, you know, I had a desire to write a book, but it was actually on my timetable for December 19th of this year that I said I would have a draft done. That was a commitment I made when I left Speak and Write. And here I am now, moved that timetable up considerably. And maybe my second book will be drafted by December 19th at this point.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you. Thimby, let's hear from you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. I can.
Perfect. I am not a big introduction person, so what do you want to know minus what I wrote online?
Let's just say that I don't even know what you wrote online.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I am from Cincinnati. I have a doctorate in education that focuses on multicultural education. I have a 6-year-old son who is the love of my life. I have been married for 10 years. My birthday is this coming Sunday. What else? I have started writing a book. I'm probably about halfway there. So I'm excited about this group to see, well, I know this group is going to take me to the end. I'm hoping that this year it'll come out and be finished, but it's taken me some time. It's been a labor of love that I actually started last year. So I'm really looking forward to get it out and have something tangible in my hands. The blog has really been helpful to get me to push and to get it out. But I'm excited that you all are going to help me have something tangible in my hands. So that's what I'm really looking forward to. So
okay. I like what she says about she's glad that we are all going to help her. And that's exactly correct. We are all going to help each other. We're going to help those of you who are shy on camera, those who are not shy on camera, but doesn't necessarily resonate with positivity. Now, I'm going to just talk through many different things. I need to have my nails done just because I know they're not. The lady wasn't there today. So every time I come to you, but all of this is in preparation of what we're going to become. There's a way that you present online, and I hope that you'll pick these up as you go. you'll notice that I may refer to Lisa Nichols a lot because she is my mentor. She is in me. That is me. This is my face, but most of what you hear, a lot of what you hear will probably be Lisa, Kevin, Tara, because Tara just dropped those words of wisdom too. So if you're not following her, you might want to do that. Today you were talking about T.D. Jakes and those things that he told you, and I remember what they are, but I have to kind of like dig deep. So I'm just going to not go there with that, but we're going to share. There is nothing that can take the place of red lipstick because I look vibrant and I look like I'm alive, but I may not necessarily be alive because I'm teaching all day long, 24 hour. I have a 24-hour clock that students all over the globe call me for classes. And right now, I don't turn anything away. Okay, thank you for listening for that. Tanisha, and I will introduce Tanisha myself. Tanisha is my night rider. We stay up late at night. I catch her online and like, why is she up or whatever. So I always enjoy listening to her. And I caught her doing, I didn't know she was a minister, pastor, or a spiritual advisor, but she was on it. She was spitting out that word. So you might want to try and catch her too. Okay, Tanisha.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for allowing me to be on Dr. Priscilla. I just want to thank you for this opportunity. This is one that I was not expecting. It just dropped in my lap, but I don't consider it just a coincidence. However, writing a book was one of those things that that was just in my heart to do. Like I said, I have several that I would like to do. By the way, everybody, I am Tanisha Butler. I'm from Shreveport, Louisiana. I have my husband. I have 3 boys, amazing boys, ages 5, 7, and 9. So yes, I have a lot of fun in my life. I'm a dance studio owner. My husband and I, we pastor together. We pastor ministry together, and I'm a licensed social worker. The book that I desire to do, which I desire for it to be a series, but the first one from that is, like I said, we have so much fun, the ins and outs of our lives with these 3 boys. However, there are so many life lessons along with it that, you know, that I would love to share with the world. And not only just the life lessons, but the ins and outs would bring in the social work aspect in there with the emotions, the feelings, and the whole 9 yards, but a children's book on a children's level to connect with children. So that's why I am here, and that's just an introduction of myself.
Okay, awesome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And we have Michelle Daniels. Welcome.
Hi, everybody. My name is Michelle Daniels. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. I go by Your E-Facilitator. I started that after I graduated with my master's in teaching and learning from Ashford University. I also have a bachelor's degree in instructional design. I'm in transition. I'm an elder, minister, teacher. I'm transitioning from being in my local church into doing something. I'm on this journey with God. Let's put it like that. And so where I end up and what I end up doing, that's going to be, that's going to be a thing. Normally I teach Bible study on Wednesday nights, and I call it e-Bible study. I'm in the group with Nicole Mitchell Griffin, Elevated Mind Lifestyle, and this opportunity came up about writing a book. I have worked on a book for many years, tried to put it out there, got turned down. So, you know, when you get rejected, you throw it, you put it away. And so with this opportunity, I have a chance to work on that book again and do something different with it.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, let me share this with you, Michelle. And there is absolutely no reason why you should not be able to finish your book. But we're going to get you to that point. Your book cannot be rejected because you're going to be a self-published author. Even if the last page of your book reads continued or to be continued, you will get the opportunity to publish your book. So that you can count on. That will be published.
Great.
So I sent each of you a document to look over. And for those of you who just came in just a smidgen after I had said that I can do PowerPoint. I can do great PowerPoints. But that is not the way that the world is going. And we're not going to do too many PowerPoints. I don't think in the 2 weeks that we'll be here. A lot of what you're going to get from me are going to be visual. If you ask a question or if there's something that I want you to know, I'm going to record it. I'm going to record it and send it to you and post it in the Facebook group. That way you can just listen to it. I think it's impactful to get something in a visual manner than actually reading it. Second to that, it is going to give me what I need in terms of video footage. And we're going to talk about that if you're not familiar with how to get recognized. A lot of people are wondering, well, I want to promote this, whether it's your book, a product, or an activity. It is going to be social media visuals that people are actually looking at. And it takes about, I don't know, 30 seconds or less for someone to determine that, you know, I really want to hear more, see more, do more, be a part of this. So
Dr. Priscilla, could I interrupt? There's like someone has music or there's something around it to,
okay,
I don't know.
It's either Leah or Thimby.
It's me. I'll move.
Yeah.
Am I the bad guy in the jail?
It's me. I'll move.
Okay, thank you, Thimby. Okay.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Okay, I think I'll help you.
I'll go upstairs.
No, that's okay. I'll mute it. But you have to remind me to mute you. You are now muted. So Leah, if you want to go ahead and mute yours, but I don't hear any noise coming from you, and I know sometimes you start talking and you forget to mute or unmute or what have you. Is that better, Tara?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, super. I think I was just saying that the more videos that you make, you want to increase your number of YouTube videos. If you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see that I have I have a lot, but I've been doing videos since 2000, maybe 7. Not because I was going to be a speaker, writer. I found something that, I could get on the YouTube, and so I did. But now it's counting toward my bounty, if you will. So we're going to do a lot of those, and we're going to get each of us to subscribe to your channel, invite everyone to subscribe to your channel. And for those of you who are a member of Owning Your Brilliance, Speaking Right, Motivating the Masses, our coach will tell us, take advantage of those individuals and ask those individuals to subscribe to your channel. Subscribing to my channel, Speak Excellent English, you probably, well, I don't know. You can subscribe to it, but I'm not asking you to subscribe to that channel because it is primarily for my English language learners. So, but you will see how it works. And it's nothing that can take the place of someone making a comment on your video. I'm not a person who knows how those analytics work, but those analytics work on your Facebook page, on your YouTube page, on your Instagram page, all of the social media. So take advantage of all the social media avenues that are available to you. Now, does anyone not have their book yet? Please tell me that all of you don't have your book. Tanisha, do you have yours? Tanisha? Okay. Paul?
Well, I've started writing, but
No, the one that I sent.
oh, like
You have it?
PDF that you sent online.
No, the book, the actual book. You have it, Tanisha?
I do. I thought you were talking about starting to write my book.
No.
I do have the one you sent.
Good. Yay.
Yes.
Nicole, do you have the book that I sent? Okay, well, you know, all 4 of yours are coming at the same time. Tara, do you have yours?
No.
And Leah probably doesn't. Paul probably doesn't because
Oh
they
yes,
are
I
in
don't.
Canada.
I remember now.
And my brother is in Canada, and it took a while, but it was like 7 days that he had his book. It is coming. And if you need to see what the book looks like, I can show you my book online, but we're not there yet. We have things to do. Now, everyone has a document that I sent to you. and I ask you to do something. If you saw your name, I'm holding you like responsible to help educate yourself, help educate others and me. How are you receiving that information so that I can explain to you what it is, and you will have homework for the next 6 days after today. I'm not sure who was to start first. I'm going to share the document as well. Did everyone get the document? Hopefully, yes.
Yes.
Okay. I am opening up the document, and whoever has the first part here, you may start. I think it was Nicole. Nicole, did you have the first part?
I do. Hello, everybody. I am Nicole Mitchell Griffin. I am from Ohio, where it is cold. I am a retired nursing professor and a retired pastor. And I moved my brick and mortar business online when I met Lisa Nichols in 2017. And I'm excited that I have had the opportunity to meet Dr. Priscilla and then to turn around and share this information with my group, Elevated Mind Style. So we are just on 10 about this, this opportunity. The first section talks about that we are here for 8 weeks because we are now ready to write our book. And hopefully everybody has got in their mind that 8 weeks, how long that is really, really short. So I'm really, really excited about that. And most people see this as a huge challenge to write a book, sitting at a table, eating your favorite fruit. And the thing about it is that you don't even have to sit at a table to write this book. One of the things that you said here that was really key to me is that writing a book is a learned skill, and sometimes we don't realize that we need to get that muscle going to write. So I really appreciate the fact that you have said it over and over and over again that we will have homework that we have to do. So I really appreciate that accountability. I hope everybody else does too. Something that you practice on a regular basis until it becomes second nature. So that's let's see, repetition is the key to our success. Okay. Did you know that many of the books that are written are done by people in other names? These people are known as ghostwriters, writers for hire, other several names. The main thing to know is that you do not have to be the one to put pen to paper to write your book. However, in this case, it will be authentic because I'll be writing my book. The book that I'm writing is going to be co-written with my father, and it's called What If He Never Said It? I actually had an opportunity to write some of the chapters when I was at a Speak and Write, and it was amazing. And I actually came home and then wrote another book called Where in the Hell Is My Mother? So I thought that this one would be, What If He Never Said It, would be a more joyful write. And so that's the one that I want to start off with. As a member of Anchors of Hope Writing Tribe, we will do a number of things to facilitate birthing our unique book for the world to read, enjoy, and to learn from. We will use several technology techniques, including interviewing. Did you know that when a writer is interviewed, notes are taken and ideas are generated to help provide insight to what should be considered quality material for the book? And then the book goes to publish under the creator's name, and mine will be Nicole Mitchell Griffin. This is the known truth about many of the best-selling books on the New York Times list, magazine, and newspaper. This material was written by other writers. Every year, hundreds of thousands of books are published, and this year, What If He Never Said It will be one of them.
Wow, awesome.
Fortunately, the more you write, the better you get. I know this to be a fact. I do know this to be a fact because when I embarked upon my doctoral studies, I can just continue to even though she wrote this, I can continue to read it. Because I had to write and edit and write and continue to write and write. And one of the things that I am proud of, even though it felt like it was strategic, and it felt like it was a lot of pressure, and that I can write, but what is so great about this opportunity is that we are doing it together. So I'm excited about that.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for that, Nicole. And I promise you, if you're not a writer, don't worry. Your birthing of this book is going to be amazing. Okay, Tanisha.
Okay. Set aside time to write each day something about your book. Commit to morning, midday, or evening. Note, I recommend a minimum of 500 words a day. That is less than a typewritten page. I will commit to writing. Should I put it in here now, or is that something?
Well, I mean, for you, how many minutes do you think? I mean, you can change, we just press that reset button, but how many words, I mean, what time do you think you can commit to? Morning, midday, or before you go to bed?
I would say morning. That's my prayer time.
Okay.
I can set aside some time like right after that.
Okay.
So tell me this, do I need to also do the time frame and the number of words? Like what if I say, okay, about 15 minutes?
In the school system, they told us that the government or the state said that the students are supposed to exercise 30 minutes a day. And I thought that my principal must have been insane. So what he said, they took 10 minutes from lunch and the children had to walk around the building from the cafeteria to lunch. Well, they shortened the lunch because they really were not able to take any more, so they say, more time to give an activity. So that was 10 minutes there. And at the end of the day, the children walked around the long way to get on the bus. So it was the letter of the law. I don't necessarily know that it was the intent. The letter of the law, the letter of this paper says commit to 500 words or 15 minutes. So you decide what works for you. It isn't necessarily in stone.
Okay.
I'm not going to hold you accountable to anything other than what you say that you are going to do. And that is at the end of 8 weeks. If I do what I promised to do, we should have a happy medium. And some of you are going to meet that goal before 8 weeks. Okay. So you're just saying that I am going to do this. You're going to do X number of minutes, X number of words. And you'll find that you probably do more than 500.
Okay.
Okay, so let me hear you say it.
So I'm saying what's on here, right?
Yeah. Or whatever you're going to commit to. I will commit to writing every morning. I will commit to writing 7,000 words a day, at each sitting, or at each sitting, or sometime. Whatever you will commit to, it's for everybody to choose. This would be my example.
Okay, I am committing to writing every morning 2 paragraphs a day.
Okay.
How's that?
If that works for you, it works for me.
As a start.
Okay.
And I'm sure I can get through more than 2 paragraphs. So how about 2 paragraphs in each sitting?
And we're going to hold you accountable for that. You'll post that in the Facebook group so we can hold you accountable to doing it. And if you don't do it, then you're like, oh my gosh, I let someone down, I let myself down. Okay.
Hey, Priscilla.
Yes.
Priscilla, this is Leah. I'm going to have to jump off right away because my son's going to come out of his lesson and I've got to get him to orchestra.
Okay.
So I'll just catch the rest on the replay.
That sounds wonderful. Thanks. It's good that you came in. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, Leah. Okay, Tanisha, there's more, I think.
Okay. Important information to know. To be a good writer, we might suggest that you should be a good reader. If you don't enjoy reading the work of other people, it is quite impossible. Other people may not enjoy reading what you have written. So just the importance of taking the time to read, to be a good reader, listening to what we're hearing, listening to the words and the work, and even I just believe the points that they are making and the details of what we are reading. If this is the case with you, it is extremely important that you work on developing your reading and retention muscle. To build this muscle, you must learn how to develop a skill in doing research. At first blush, this may seem like more work than you're willing to commit to. If you do your research, it will pay off in huge dividends. I'm not suggesting that you read hundreds of books. However, I am suggesting that you read books that are relevant to your topic of interest. This will give you insight into what others are writing about and what others are interested in. Dr. Priscilla, this part actually reminds me of the statement you made earlier when you said, when you were talking about here about research, you said earlier to go ahead, like if we know we want to use quotes, go ahead and start researching those quotes, pulling those quotes out. However, whether we use them or not, just go ahead and start jotting them down. Even with this, I just think the importance of, even if we see the work of somebody else and it's pertaining kind of close to ours, kind of jotting some of those things down as we're reading them, because it may be angles that we've never thought about.
Exactly.
Following this system will keep you honed into what a strong topic of interest and what people are willing to spend their money on. As you know, our coach will tell you that money is a dignified conversation. That's Coach Lisa Nichols.
All the way.
However, if you would not buy your product, other people probably will not buy it either. Please do your research and use each of the 8 weeks to include research as a part of your writing strategy, even if you have to copy word for word, well, almost word for word, what you are reading until your muscle is strong enough for your own thoughts to flow. And I love this part also, Dr. Priscilla, where you're talking about with the research, because it's a matter of, like, because what we were discussing earlier, we never know what we may use, but it's just gathering, pulling it together, and then we may even find some type of a sequence there that we may decide to use, our particular rhythm. And then also may see that within the same types of books or areas that we're researching to write about, that we may find more writings or more area coverage in a particular area that we see that's kind of repetition in several books.
So that's your model.
Okay, model like that.
And Lisa tells us, we don't need to recreate it. Look at her style. Follow what she does. Do what she does. The Tonka truck, the Pampers for Jelani, going to the ATM machine. We can all relate to that. You can relate to someone else's work, but you must be reading someone else's work to know what people are interested in.
Right.
Okay, good job. Continue.
Okay, think about it this way. Most of us are familiar with the Bible. Woo-woo! How often do you quote the Bible only to find that a few of your choice words are not even in the Bible book? Do you get my point? Yes. Start today. And you know what? It makes me think about, this is actually the topic that I covered, the topic that I spoke on in Houston this past weekend was the book of Esther. And that's one of those books of the Bible where God's name was never mentioned.
And it is quite possible, as I was listening to you, that this is where I gleaned this from.
Wow. So even with that, however, with that being said, although God's name wasn't mentioned, but the layout and the blueprint of God was all over it. It's all over that book. So I believe it's still a way for us to get the message out of what we're trying to say, but we can still lay it out strategically.
Absolutely.
Start today. Develop the habit of reading something in your genre, 5 to 10 minutes. Watch a YouTube, a good substitute for reading, and it is okay to listen to the same thing every day. Goes back up here to where you were talking about that muscle, strengthening that muscle, listening to the same thing every day. I know this works too, because I listen to guided meditations, the same one every night when I go to bed. Now look at me. I'm guiding you to write your own book.
Absolutely. And that's what I did when I started writing with my coach. She would say what to do, how to do it. This is not my first book, but it's my first book like a novel. I've written curriculum-like stuff and my doctoral studies. So it was amazing. Okay, let's see. Michelle?
Okay, I had to turn my, I had my mute, I had the mute button on.
Okay.
Okay, step 2, formulate development, work with the end in mind, know the book, write a book. What is the book subject about? Determine 7 characters or book themes. In my case, I do know the characters that I want to talk about in the book of Genesis. The name of my book is At the Commencement. So the chapters will be creation, the second rebellion, the first murder, the first ocean liner that was built before the first flood, Abraham and Sarah, Jacob and Joseph. Those last 3, I haven't came up with creative titles yet, but that's what I know what I want to talk about.
Awesome.
After each story, I'm going to tell some life lessons that what I gleaned out of those particular books that I think that we can apply to our lives.
Awesome. And when we're doing something like that, we might start with the 7 chapters. If you know you have 50 chapters, then you can start with 50. But we need some type of parameter to kind of keep us straight. So we start with 7.
Correct.
Or fewer if you need to. But this is just a guide.
Okay.
So that's there.
But that's probably where it's going to be. I may have maybe a few more. It just depends.
Mm-hmm.
But it won't be, I will say it won't be more than 10.
Okay.
The message of your book should embrace passion, knowledge, expertise, belief, or benefits to others. So I'm hoping that my book is knowledgeable for people who don't know about the book of Genesis or don't particularly read the Bible, and that is beneficial to those who do believe, because maybe they'll see that book in a different light. And like I said, they get some kind of application where they can apply it to their personal lives.
And so why does this resonate with you as a passion?
Well, because I'm a Bible instructor, and I've always wanted to know the who, what, when, where, and how, and why. Those questions always were important to me. Mm-hmm. And often when I was younger and I went to church, I left not knowing those questions were sometimes still open to me. I didn't understand, well, what was going on, or why did you tell this story, or what are we really supposed to get out of it? And then, of course, when I got older and I realized that everyone has different preaching styles, preaching is not teaching. So when you get to hear a message, you're not always going to get all the information that you need. And as a teacher, it's always been important to me that when people walk away, they're able to know those main things out of any given lesson.
Okay, super. Okay, and there's a 5. What is it?
Write a brief summary for each chapter, 100 words or less. So with each chapter, think of the book title to make sure that you are on topic. If your book is about Alzheimer, it's not necessary to talk about going to your daughter's music recital in a significant way. This is not relevant to your topic.
Okay, so what I'm saying there, if you go to the skating rink, it clearly says skating rink. There's absolutely no reason for you to bring a basketball or a tennis ball because you're going there with roller skates. You're there to go skating. So remember, when you're starting to write your book, even though you may have different themes, your title, the title of your book, is going to be what is going to draw the individual readers into it. I would say initially I didn't know if my title was going to fit my book, but I really liked the title. I had the title, but no thought of ever writing the book. A friend of mine gave me some anchors, and I hung them over my TV stand. And every time I'd look at those anchors of hope with my mother, like, how can I use that? So I made it fit, and I put little droplets throughout the book with the word anchors of hope to gel all of this together. All right. Thembi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. By any chance, can you see me?
I'm not really sure if I can or not, but someone else may, just by the way I've got my system set up.
Okay. Doesn't really matter. Great. Okay.
We can
Perfect.
see you.
Let's see. I need to make this bigger, but basically, one we all can read. So, basically, you are suggesting that I use a dictionary or a thesaurus, which is not the first time I've heard that. You've also suggesting that I use an editor, which I have one. Unfortunately, she is also a colleague of mine and teaches sociology full time. So, it's hard to work with her, but I need to find another one. Yes, and paying an editor is also something that right now I am not willing to do. Let's see. Be sure you are a master of the content. Yes. And being a master of my content is a really interesting story that I will not share here at this moment. So part B is list 5 to 10 authors that have written something similar and know them and their subject. So a lot of the work that I'm writing has come from my area of gender studies. There's a small portion of it that comes from gender studies. So a lot of the authors that I have looked at are familiar with the work that I am writing. So one of the authors that has really spawned a lot of this work, the title is The Ethical Slut. And so that book really like totally changed my life and is one of the cruxes of how I started writing this book. But yeah, there's a lot of authors that I've read that has really influenced the work and a lot of other things, but authors that has influenced the work that I have done. So
Okay.
That's it.
Awesome. So I look forward to your book and how it unfolds. I had said that your book, not that you shouldn't write your book, obviously that's not the point that I was making, but I want you to know that at 65, sometimes when I read something, it seems like it should be on a brown paper cover. Like, oh my gosh, like, are they still saying these? Do they say these things now? I can't watch certain movies that are too intimate. I mean, I can, but it isn't that comfortable to me. I'm like, ooh, they need to put on some clothes.
So I would suggest that for the folks in the group, Dr. Priscilla has put out the link to my blog. I would suggest to folks that you would take a look at some of my writing so that you are not shocked when you read or review my work, because it is risque. It is my work. And so if you want to take a look at it before you dive into it, there you go.
Okay. Thank you so much. So
You're welcome.
I believe Leah had to go pick up her son, and there was no rhyme or reason except for Nicole's piece, because she had the larger group, and I wanted to make sure that she would emphasize and overemphasize with her group again and again, because she will see her group more frequently than I will, that as they talk about whatever, something may come up that they can share amongst themselves. So what Leah had was, well, Paul, why don't you take Leah's part, and Tara, I don't know what it was that I did. So Tara, why don't you take Leah's part, because all you have is the footer. Leah.
Okay.
Who did I say? Tara. Tara, can you read Leah's part?
Sure. Examples to live and die for, and I prefer to live for. Am I supposed to answer that end of that? Or no?
It's just however you interpret whatever it is that you're interpreting. I'm commenting on most everything anyway. It's just however you want to respond to it.
Okay. I can't answer that at the moment. What I prefer to look for. Number one, do your research, do your homework, and write daily. Collect your backup material, whether it's through pictures, thoughts, vocabulary, ideas, stories, methods, techniques, insights, quotes, could be scriptures, essential ideas, or even experiences.
And so what does that mean to you? What does it sound like? And when I wrote, I prefer to do the research to make myself knowledgeable instead of dying and not really knowing why or something like that. I prefer to live and do my homework so that I really know what I'm talking about or the benefits. If you were a young child, my son would rather die than do homework. Oh, Mama, I'm sick. I can't do anymore. You know, that's what I think. That was what I was alluding to. Give me examples of things that you would really do that you would prefer to do. And then again, just what do you want to add to that? What do you think of number 3? How are you understanding number 3?
Well, I guess when I think of number 3, I'm a visual learner. So when I think about, so sometimes the idea will come to me in a picture first, and then I have to figure out how to show the story versus tell it.
Okay.
So for me, it makes me think about what you would scriptures and quotes, because I'll need to be descriptive in my writing so that people understand the picture that I have in my head.
Okay. And
when I convey the story.
And once you get my book, I have a brother that lives in Canada, a brother that lives in Missouri, and my mother did some amazing things. So I was always capturing pictures of, here she is trying to get out of the window. Here she is doing this. And so I looked through my camera on my phone and I had all these pictures, not really knowing that they were going to go in a book. They were just to show my family the struggles or the challenges that I was having with Mother. And they became, as Lisa Nichols will tell us, that every moment is a chapter, is an event. So that is what you'll find, that is what I wrote about in my book. Okay.
I can't wait to get it.
Paul.
Hello?
Yes, Paul. You're up next. Audio and YouTube. How do you receive?
Right.
How do you receive?
If you are using YouTube to organize your thoughts, highly recommended. In the beginning, just talk. Be sure to watch the video on how to create your YouTube channel. Watch the video to learn how to get the transcription from your YouTube channel. The first video can be your introduction. Just start talking about what's essential to introduce your book. Of course, you'll not use much of this information, but you need to get the flow going. Just start talking. You'll receive huge benefits from this strategy alone. Just trust the system. Most likely, you'll do about 7 to 12 of these videos. Each video will focus on a specific topic or idea. Even if you get off topic, you'll be able to eliminate the details that are not relevant and continue with your pace of writing.
So how do you receive that? What do you think it means I want you to do or consider doing?
Well, I guess in this case, not necessarily just resorting to pen and paper or just typing, but like, well, looking at different ways to gather your thoughts and then like looking back at that and seeing what to take and what not to take from it. Yeah, I definitely think that it would work, but I'm not really, I don't know, for video, I guess I'm a bit shy, but audio is something I definitely do. But I guess I might as well just take this and use it to my advantage to be more camera friendly, I'd say.
Okay. And I want to agree with you because, again, your book is not just the only way that people are going to know about you. Once you get your book out there, you might even include please join my YouTube channel to learn more about me, especially you, Paul. I can just see the magnitude of people that are going to be drawn to you as a younger person. And when you come across as being authentic in appearance and in voice, they not only want to read your book, but they want to become one of your followers, which might be the second book or the third book or whatever it is that you're, whatever it is that you're writing about, especially since you're not, your audience may not necessarily be the Americans or just the people here in America. The other thing I want to say about the YouTube channel for all of you, I think I said it earlier, but it's worth saying again. You want to start building your followers now. Even though, I think, let's see, who is it over here? Michelle, even though you may not be interested in my English language learners, but I might send them to your channel just because they need to listen to someone speak English. They're not interested in the context, but the algorithms are going to start looking at the number of people that are coming to your channel.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I do already have a YouTube channel. I put some things up already. However, I've not used it as a format to gather my ideals or to do anything like that.
I had suggested that you create a separate channel, but you can also make these that you're doing, that I'm suggesting that you can make them private so that they don't bleed over into. And one day you may decide, I want people to really see what I went through to get the birth of this book. That's totally up to you. However you go about doing it.
So you're suggesting, just so I'm clear, that we make a separate YouTube channel for the writing process.
That was what my original thought was, is to create a different one, just because you don't want to make a mistake. Maybe it wouldn't be a mistake. I started a separate one just for Anchors of Hope for writers. I have a separate one that's totally separate from Speak Excellent English. It's just because I'm not so sure how I want it to be received yet. But either way, it's perfectly fine. I'll let you decide how you want to do that.
Well, excuse me, I didn't mean to interrupt. I apologize. I do know how to make a video private, but I didn't know how to, I'll have to see, how do you let someone else see that private video? You understand what I'm saying?
You just you'd have to send us the link.
Oh, okay.
And what makes it really, you aren't even, I don't make mine private, I just make them unlisted. Then anyone who has the link can view it, and anyone who has the link can share it. But if you're only sharing it with the people in this group, I don't think anyone in this group is just that gun-ho to share your unlisted video with someone else.
Okay.
But
that's
you just
what I needed clarity on. Thank you.
You just choose unlisted.
Okay.
And Deandra isn't here, and I think I knew she wasn't coming. So, so I'll do this one. So we're done. If you can follow these steps that we've talked about, we're done. We go from print to publish. Let's talk about our homework. I know you're like, now I've got 7 days to do what? In 7 days, you're going to either commit to writing every day, recording every day. You're going to come to Facebook and tell us something. And I want all of us to hold each other accountable. So Tanisha said that she was going to write 2 paragraphs. I believe 2 paragraphs is far less than the 500 words that I had suggested, but that's her. That's what she said she's going to do. So we're going to check to see. Tanisha, did you do your 2 paragraphs today? It's going to be a quick yes or no. I did or I didn't. I'm going to ask you the next day, the second day. Tanisha, did you do whatever you said you did? So everyone is going to write something for me to hold you accountable to. Not just me, but all 8 of us are going to hold you accountable. Not necessarily to say that I'm going to ask you, Tanisha, every day that you do, but I might say on Wednesday, Tanisha, how's it going? Were you able to do your 2 paragraphs today? And if you could honestly say your average is, you could say, type, I've averaged 8 paragraphs. whether maybe you didn't do any on Monday, but you're averaging. So, well, she's averaging, so that's 2 times 2 times 2. So she's on point. And there will be those times when you just, I just don't feel it. I just don't feel it. Then no, guys, I fell off the wagon. You know how we do. We just can't do it. Then it's for us to help you build up that muscle. You can do this. You can do this. All right, so I'm going to go quickly through. If anyone has questions right now, please ask them.
I do.
Yes.
Yes. Considering my book is a children's book, what suggestions would you have as far as going about with an illustrator? I do have a young lady that does it, but like, what are your suggestions on that?
I don't know that I have a suggestion. What I typically do is just ask you questions. And I think an illustrator would be great. So when I talk about the pictures that I took with my mother, I had an idea, I like this picture. I can write about this picture. You may be saying that you're going to write about something and you need an illustrator. Well, you still need to get your book out, but you can just draw you a stick figure so you'll know what type of illustration you might have in your book.
Okay.
I would also suggest that you look at children's books with illustrations and see how they did theirs. Did they put the picture at the top, in the middle, bottom, or whatever your thoughts are? The answer is going to be in your research.
Okay.
You want to model what is already there. Don't reinvent the wheel. Don't do something not at this stage. I mean, any good researcher knows, don't try to find a vaccine for something that no one's even heard about.
Okay.
Write about a vaccine that has been proven, something that you can replicate, and then you create your own. And then next time you become a little more authentic, like, oh, Tanisha did this, I want it. Okay. So you're going to be the best determiner of what to do with an illustrator. I think illustrators, unless it's family, they can be pricey as well. Anyone else with a question?
Yeah, I have a question about how often are we Zooming?
Once a week. Okay. And we can decide that in the chat. I'm open to any particular day, any particular time. So I'll put in a little chart or something so you can decide, and then we'll find a happy medium there. But you can contact me 24/7, but my response will come back to you most likely in video. Okay. So Nicole read the first part, and in 8 weeks we're going to go from print to publish. It's a skill. You're going to be building your muscles. Everyone is a writer, whether you have someone write your work or you write it yourself. I believe she's going to write her book with her father. Her father's not even going to pick up a pen, but he is going to be, I would imagine, a co-writer of her book. So we're going to get started by, you decide. Tell me in Facebook. Tell me tell us what you're committing to. Tanisha says she's going to do evening writing or morning writing, and she's going to write 2 paragraphs a day. So by the end of 6 days, she will have written 12 paragraphs. And that very well might be enough, because I think she's going to write more than a paragraph. In my opinion, Tanisha, a paragraph is just 3 good sentences. So you can see that you're talking only 6 sentences, and I know you can do more than that. Also, those of you who do not like to write, videotape your speech. And it might be something like this. I don't know, I'm recording now what I might say. Oh my gosh, I've got to write something today. I don't know what I'm supposed to write. I think I'll talk about a children's book that needs to be illustrated. But what should I write? What is the first thing? Oh, I know. I've got a good friend that she's an illustrator, and she can help me with this. And chapter 1 could be about the little boy who wouldn't tie his shoes properly. One of the reasons he wouldn't tie his shoes properly is because he had not been taught. So you see how your story is unfolding just because you got that first initial thought out. That is for the person who doesn't want to write. I'm not that type of a writer. And I'm going to post a video how to do your transcribing to the YouTube and then take out those unnecessary words. And then there you have your story or your paragraph. You will still need to massage it some, but you've got 8 weeks to get that done. So I'm looking primarily for 500 pages per week, which is about 3,500 words. Following your system, and everything is a system. If you have a system like brushing your teeth, most of the time when I brush my teeth, I pick up my brush, I put my brush back in the holder. I don't put my toothbrush on the commode. I have a system. I do it with my eyes closed. It's just what you do. And when you get into the habit of building that muscle of writing 500 words a day, or 2 paragraphs a day, or 1 sentence a day, it is going to become that habit. Okay, Michelle was responsible for giving us a formula. So Tara, I forget who wrote this book, but you know who the book is. The End in Mind, the 7 habits. You start with the end in mind. The final thing is to write a book. And we are going to write a book starting with 7 chapters. Don't know what those 7 chapters are going to be. And we are writing with passion because we're excited about it. Thembi has had the recommendation, look at other people's work. It amazes me when, as an educator, that there are teachers that are teaching their craft, but I'm not impressed enough to believe that they even know it. And that's not necessarily their fault, because that may not be what they went to school for. They may be an English major and they're teaching, I don't know, math. That just doesn't work. But they didn't have anyone to put in that room. So you need to know your craft. So study people that are doing the type of work. That also tells you what people are going to buy, what people are interested in. So do your research. Leah's was to, what drives you? What makes you feel alive? So do your research. If you've got I used to have moles on my face, still do, and I didn't like them. So I researched some of the dermatologists so I can get those things just iced off my face. Now it's nice and smooth. So do your homework. If it's something do your research. Paul talked about YouTubing. He's going to become accustomed to using it. He's quite familiar with audio, but being comfortable in front of the camera. Do that extra step, not necessarily for me, but for the people that are going to look at you. And I know this because when I started teaching the children, they told me that my lips were too dark. Well, these are my lips. But if I want to teach for them, let me go get me a tube of red lipstick so I can get this job. So you do, what people suggest. It was constructive criticism. And Tara talked about, I forget. And Deandra, we're done, print to publish. Now, you're going to put most of your work in the Facebook group. We are critiquing your work. I can consider myself an editor, but people who are reading your book, we don't care. We don't care. I'm going to use, I don't know who said this word. This word is chapter, and Michelle said character. You see, there was no reason for me to correct her because I knew it said chapter. And when you read my book, you may find mistakes in it too. I care, but not to the point that I would pay someone like several $100s to correct it for me, because it's not a methodology book. It is not that type of book. And for those of you who have spent any time in school and have a textbook, like that's a misspelled word. Well, they're not going to rewrite that book just because I found a misspelled word. It just keeps it moving. So don't get all bent out of shape that you misspelled the word. And we are reading your work too. So if we see something that's misspelled, we probably will point this out to you, and it's nothing more than constructive criticism. Okay? Now, for those of you who are here, I mailed you all your book, and this is how I know you're going to write your book. The wholesale value of my book was $2.24. That's all I had to pay for my book. But I only had to pay $2.24 when I bought the book. So I bought the book for everybody. Leah, Paul, and someone else. It cost me $10.75 to send you the book. I'm like, oh my gosh. But I had promised to send you the book absolutely free. So it cost me more to send you a book. But I would hope that you would return the favor when your book is ready, that you will not charge me $10.75 to send me a copy of your book. But the cost of your book when it is printed, and it isn't going to be printed until you're ready to publish it. So if you only want one book, you only get one book. If you want I bought 33 books. I bought 66 books. So I spent $100, $104 to get my books. And they sent me $104. I've sold only one book online, and that was from a friend of mine. So, okay, so we're at 8:06. We're past our time. I'm going to type what your homework is, but I've already told you what your homework is. You've got 7 days to our next meeting. Oh, the class is over. I have got to tell you all this, but it's not something that you can share yet because it's not for the public. It's just for you guys. I am going to Dubai with Lisa Nichols on the 16th of April. Whoop, whoop. I'll be there to learn. I'll be there for 8 days, and I am so excited. So I'll have more things to share with you about how to promote your book or whatever it is that she's going to teach me. So, yeah.
Is that one of the women's retreats?
No, well, this is whatever she's doing in Dubai. You know how she always has the servant leaders?
Yes.
They're all volunteers. The cost of getting there is on me, which is an expense. It's expensive to get there, but I'm doing like, if someone heard about the girl who said she saw this crab cart in On In Your Brilliant, she was driving down the road and she saw this crab. She wanted a crab cart, and she stopped and she bought it, and now she's selling crab cakes or whatever she's selling. Anyway, this was an opportunity that was offered by Lisa. If you're interested, she's looking for a commitment of 4 service something for the year. So I know she will be in Charlotte, North Carolina, which is my hometown. So I volunteered for Charlotte. I volunteered for Dubai, and I hope to go to Jamaica and someplace else. That's just what I just wanted to share with you. So start visualizing what it is that you want to do. And Nicole, I think it's going to be great with you orchestrating with your small group, joining with my growing group, because after this group, this is going to be a $397 value that I will be promoting. So I'm going to, nothing's a guarantee, but it is my 99.9% sure all of us are going to birth a book within 8 weeks. So know that I see it. I know that it is going to be done. Claim it, and it is done. Okay, guys, if no one has anything more, I want to say thank you so much, Nicole, Tanisha, Michelle, and let me stop sharing and come back to everybody. Stop sharing. Paul, I know that you're quiet, but don't feel that you are forgotten amongst these queens, because you are our king.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us, Tanisha, Michelle, and Leah. I know that you're not here, but your presence is still with us. So until we decide on Facebook, our next meeting 7 days from now, or hopefully 7 days from now, or somewhere in between that time. I'm your sister in the journey.
Have a good evening.
Congratulations. Talk to you later. Bye, everybody.
Bye.